After match day 29 over the weekend, Premier League football is back. Premier League football is back, and it's really having a very huge reception down in Africa, Europe, Asia, South America, because this has gone ahead to obviously take long. There is a 3 title horse race, and there is a race for the 4th and 5th positions for the teams to play in the Champions League. And again, 3 teams are really tussling out for that position, and that is Spurs, Aston Villa, and Manchester United. So, yesterday night, we saw to it that very many games went ahead to be played in the Premier League, and very many teams went ahead to obviously get results that they really least expected into the mix. So good morning, welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Close to 5 games were played yesterday, and Newcastle drew with Everton 1-1. Burnley had to obviously do the needful to really draw with Wolverhampton Wanderers 1-1. Newcastle, West Ham, Tottenham Hotspur 1-1. Bournemouth won by 1-0. They beat Crystal Palace, and then Nottingham Forest went ahead to beat Fulham by 3-1, meaning that out of the 5 games that went ahead to be played yesterday, it was only one draw. And that really, it was only 2 wins, and the rest were draws of 1-1. So we are going to come up here and really show you exactly how everything really panned out as the game of football really happened down at those stadiums. So let's obviously start off with the game of Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs came into this game of football when they really thought that they would go to 59 points and level up with Aston Villa, but they went ahead to really draw 1-1, and they are really having a drop of points, and the intensity was really not all that much. The London derby never went their way, because in the 5th minute, everyone thought that Spurs was going to take it an easy way when Brennan Johnson went ahead to obviously score in the 5th minute. Then Kurt Zuma came up and really leveled 14 minutes later in the 19th minute to make it 1-1, and the game went ahead to end that way. So that game of football was really a very hard-fought game. Spurs tried to show to it that they can obviously come in through and really win the game, but it was all in vain. They couldn't obviously match the levels of breaking down that central defense of Tottenham Hotspur. I think Udogi, towards the end of the game, got a very good chance, but he shot with his weak foot, that is the right foot, and the goalkeeper found that ball into his vicinity, and he couldn't be really stopped from really saving that ball. And I think even West Ham had a very good chance, over, who was it? Lucas Paqueta went ahead to release, Mohamed Kudus, and Kudus couldn't obviously kill it off. Then even Mikel Antonio, he was really running out of steam by the time they really went ahead to go for that ball over the top, and he ran past the central defense of Tottenham Hotspur, and he hit that ball, and Vicario came to the save of Tottenham Hotspur. So these were the stats of the game. 11 shots by West Ham, 13 by Tottenham Hotspur, 4 shots on target by West Ham, and even Tottenham Hotspur had 4. 32% ball possession by West Ham. West Ham surrenders possession, and 68% ball possession. 68% ball possession by Tottenham Hotspur, 302 passes completed by West Ham, then 663 passes completed by Tottenham Hotspur, 78% passing accuracy by West Ham, 89% passing accuracy by Tottenham Hotspur, 13 fouls by West Ham and 9 fouls to Tottenham Hotspur. Then we had 0. Then we had 1 foul, 1 yellow card issued to West Ham and 4 yellow cards issued to Tottenham Hotspur. 0 red cards issued to both sides. 3 offsides to West Ham and 1 offside to Tottenham Hotspur. 9 corners to West Ham and 5 corners to the side of Tottenham Hotspur. So after that, we go to the table, the Premier League, and show you exactly how everything is really looking like after that draw that went ahead to obviously get United into this. And trust me, we as fans of Man United are the most excited about the result that went ahead to be put out, because we know exactly what it means. If at all we beat Chelsea, that is tomorrow in London, that's really going to be a very hard-fought game. I really came out and really said I'm not going to come out and obviously talk about Champions League football, but it looks like Spurs have gone ahead to obviously get us back into Champions League football. And out of the 3 games, I thought that Spurs would lose. They've gone ahead obviously lose or draw and draw points to a team like West Ham, because I thought Spurs would have gone ahead to lose to Arsenal, Man City and Liverpool. But guess what? They've gone ahead to lose to the side, to draw to the side of West Ham. And now Liverpool is topping the Premier League table, 67 points, 29 games played. Arsenal, 29 games played. They're having 65 points. Arsenal is taking on Luton Town tonight, and if at all they win, Arsenal will be 68 points on top of the table, 1 point ahead of Liverpool. Man City, 29 games played, 64 points. Aston Villa, 30 games played, 59 points, and they're also playing today. That is Aston Villa and Man City. Can Aston Villa shock Man City? We wait to see whether they can be put in that shift. Then Tottenham Hotspur, 30 games played, they're having 57 points, and Man United has gone ahead to play 29 games, and United is having 48 points. So when you look at Man United, all they have to do is to pray to it that they give Chelsea a game and they win that game at Stamford Bridge. Though ever since Ten Hag came in through, they've gone ahead to win only one team away in London, that is Fulham. The rest of the teams in London have gone ahead to either beat or draw with Man United. Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Brentford. So he's not really one of those people that will obviously come in through and really get excited when they are playing down in London. So Man United is having 48 points. If they win, or if you win tomorrow, we'll go to 51 points and will be 6 points behind Tottenham Hotspur. And if Man City beat the side of Aston Villa, right, United will be 8 points behind Aston Villa with the game in hand. So that's how the Premier League table is really looking, and we are just waiting to see how things are really gonna continue to develop. And every development that really surfaces, I'll come up here and obviously give you the best of the knowledge. Now, the manager of Spurs had something to say about the game, and this is Ange Postecoglou's words. He said, yeah, it was tough physically, and it's what you expect when you come here. They're a strong team and they sit compact, so you have to be patient. I thought we handled it okay. Disappointed not to get a better outcome, but a tough game. Yeah, it was a tough game because the quality of the players of West Ham is really huge. When you look at the starting 11 of West Ham in that game, you really understand that they're really having some good quality. Paqueta, you know, Ward-Prowse, Edson Alvarez, Muhammad Kudus, Gerard Bowen, you know, those players are really of pure quality. There is no way you really expect to go there and obviously not get a beating. Even Arsenal, when they paid a visit there, they went ahead to put 6 past West Ham. But remember, Arsenal had been beaten by the side of West Ham at home at Emirates by 2-0. Man United came at the Stadium of London and they really dropped 3 points there. Very many teams have gone ahead to struggle to win at the London Stadium because of that capacity that the team really has behind it and the quality of players. You know, they sit back and they hit you on the break. That's why you saw the possession was 20. What was the possession? The possession was 23% for, I think it was 32% for the side of West Ham, and Tottenham Hotspur had 68. They possessed the game, but they couldn't obviously break them down. That is really very, very, very expected, because for them, they don't really do what we call football possessed. Football possession is not their thing. All they do is simple. They go up and really hit you on the break. Now, Ange Postecoglou on the goal, they said it was well-worked move. We have been working on that a couple of other times. We just weren't in the right areas. On Timo Werner being in better positions, we are working with all the guys all the time to try to get a better understanding. I thought in the front third, some of our decision making and clarity of thought let us down a little bit. So Timo Werner was responsible for putting in an assist for the goal that Brandon Jensen went ahead to score in the 5th minute. But the manager is saying they've been working on that for a very long time, and that's what I'm going to have to say about teams creating for their number 9s, because if you really get chances like the one that Spurs went ahead to create, anyone who finds himself in the vicinity or in the face of goal just taps that ball in the back of the net. That is it. But the moment you fail to do the needful, to obviously get yourself into the creativity for your number 9s, then your number 9 will obviously struggle to get goals. But for Spurs, Richarlison is in double figures. Richarlison is in double figures. I think even Son Heung-min is in double figures. It shows you how good the team is really getting every other day that passes by. And kudos to Ange Postecoglou. And then he was asked about Yefis Bissoma's performance on the night, and he said, I thought he was outstanding. Yefis did the defensive work, which was always going to be very important today. The general effort from the lads was strong. It's a tough place to come. There is a lot of games to go still. I will be very surprised if all games aren't tight. Everyone is fighting for something. We have to maintain our levels. And for them, as Tottenham Hotspur, they really have a lot to really prove, because when you look at their fixtures that they're left with, you really feel a little bit for them, because after drawing with West Ham, they have to host Nottingham Forest. I think they can really go past that game. They have to play away at Newcastle. You understand that is on the 13th. The beauty of that is that these two teams are not involved in any other competition. Newcastle is seeing most of its players return, and maybe Spurs might need to obviously get in what we call a third gear. And here are these other games that are really lining up for Tottenham Hotspur. Newcastle, then the game of Man City is going to have to be postponed because Man City is going to be playing into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. So that means that game will be really rescheduled. Then they're having Arsenal. They're hosting Arsenal on the 28th of April, and 4th May they are going to play away at Liverpool. So out of these next 3 games, the next 4 games, Spurs needs to see to it that they don't really drop very many points, because if that's all they do, they'll find themselves out of the 5th position, and Man United might obviously capitalize onto it. And they'll be having Burnley at home, Sheffield away, Newcastle. They'll sum up with Sheffield on the 19th of May. So those are the remaining 8 games for the side of Tottenham Hotspur, and they're really having a very huge chase to obviously make and get these teams up and running. So that is it coming in through from the London Stadium. That's how things panned out, and let's see how Newcastle went ahead to behave when they're playing against Newcastle. Newcastle was one of the teams that really kept very many clean sheets. That was last season, but this season they're obviously having a very bad go in there for you. I'm having George Masakoi. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right. You said, my guy, how are you, my mate? Good morning. And where are you watching us from? This is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. So let me try to put this right. So let's go to the Newcastle game. Alexandra Isak in the 15th minute went ahead to score the first goal, and then in the 80th minute, a player of Newcastle, a player of Everton was brought down in the box, and the referee pointed. He never pointed the spot, but VAR had to really call him to go to the side monitor and really come up with the result. And obviously, when he came in through, he pointed at the spot, and Calvert-Lewin went ahead, obviously level up, and the game ended 1-1. But Newcastle were to blame because they had all chances to really kill off the game, but they failed to kill off the game. They left it in a touching distance, and that's why Everton came upon and obviously went ahead to draw that game of football. Then these were the stats. Newcastle had 18 shots, Everton had 10, 6 shots on target by Newcastle, 3 shots on target by Everton, 59% ball possession by Newcastle. Everton had 41%, 493 passes completed by Newcastle. Then Everton completed 357 passes, 81%. 81% passing accuracy by Newcastle. Then Everton had 75% passing accuracy, 9 fouls by Newcastle, 14 fouls by Everton, 0 yellow cards to Newcastle, and 3 yellow cards were submitted, all shown to the people or to the players of Everton. No red cards issued to either sides. 2 offsides to Newcastle, 0 offsides to Everton, 7 corners to Newcastle, and 3 corners to Everton. That's how everything goes ahead to see to it that it happened. Now, let's go to the bottom half and see where is Newcastle. So, Newcastle is 8th, Newcastle is 8th onto the table, and Everton is 16th. They are still fighting not to get relegated. With 8 games to go, they're having 26 points, and they are 2 points. They are how many points? 4 points off the relegation zone, and all they are praying for is Luton Town to lose to Arsenal, and obviously see to it that they really stay at 22 points, so they really keep that gap, and this battle is really gonna really heat up very, very soon. But they're really having some good goal, and they're really having a very good game. So for me, I really enjoyed those games yesterday night, and hope you guys also went ahead to enjoy them. I'm having George. I will keep following you, sir. You've been phenomenal on this channel. Thank you for watching it through, and it's always nice having such people coming out to obviously give us those encouraging words that keep us going. Other fixtures: Burnley 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Nottingham Forest 3, Fulham 1, and Bournemouth 1, Crystal Palace 0. And today we are really having some engagements that are really huge. Brentford is playing Brighton. Right? Brentford is playing Brighton. Arsenal at 21:30 hours are playing Luton Town. Then Man City is playing Aston Villa at Etihad, 22:15 hours. Tomorrow, big one. Chelsea hosting Man United at the Stamford Bridge, and Liverpool is going to be hosting Sheffield United. That is it. And over the weekend, Premier League resumes, and at 14:30 hours, Crystal Palace takes on Man City at the Selhurst Park. Wolverhampton Wanderers takes on West Ham at 17 hours. Everton takes on Burnley, 17 hours. Aston Villa hosts Brentford at 17 hours. Fulham hosts Newcastle again at 17 hours. Luton Town takes on Bournemouth at 17 hours. Then Brighton hosts Arsenal at 19:30 hours on Saturday this week. And on Sunday, we'll be having a huge one. Man United hosting Liverpool in the Premier League, a game that very many Arsenal fans will be praying that Man United will take it home. The game is going to be played at 17:30 hours. Then 19:30, Sheffield versus Chelsea, Nottingham versus Tottenham Hotspur on or at 20 hours. And if I told you United fan, that means if United happens to win its 2 games that they have in hand, it's 2 games because they're going to play before Spurs comes into action. United will be having 54 points. They would have gone ahead to close down Tottenham Hotspur to 3 points, and that will be the difference, and that will be really huge for the club of Man United, if at all you know exactly what it means to come up in such a situation and really face off the side of Liverpool and Chelsea. Those 2 games are really hard, but I know they're really going to happen. So that's what really happened in the game of football, and the Premier League is really heating up, and I know most of you are really having your thoughts that are really kept in there for you. So thank you guys for watching through. Rokan David is my name. Hope you guys are going to be having fun, but the Premier League is really heating up, and the trophy race is really hard to an extent that no one can predict. I said before the game of Man City that if at all Arsenal win that game of Man City, they would have gone ahead to put themselves in a position of really winning that game. They would have gone ahead to put themselves in a position of winning that trophy, because I know they would have gone ahead to go ahead and really win 8 games out of the possible 9, and because of their huge goal difference, they would have gone ahead to find themselves really topping the table, even if they lost 1 game out of the remaining 9. But right now, Liverpool is topping the table, and you know what exactly it means, because they can really take the stretch. But the big block or stumbling block into their journey of winning the trophy is Man United on Sunday, and we wait to see how that pans out. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Tell me your reactions to these fixtures that I'm gonna hit to break down, that we are really played in the night, and I failed to come out and really stream live to talk to you, but I've finally come up and spoken to you, and you've gonna hit to do the needful. Daniel Okuja, thank you for watching through from Masaka. Then George Masokwi, thank you for also keeping it this channel. We sign out for now. See you later, and good morning, and depending where you're watching in through, I'm gonna return with some Arsenal last charge for the game of Luton Town. But remember, I've already gone ahead to go ahead and put up the match preview of Arsenal versus Luton Town. Go to the video section. It's the first video, and you'll enjoy it. You'll thank me later. Not so, you'll have to thank me later. But another live video is gonna come up. I think I'm gonna schedule up one. I think around 17 hours. That's when I'm gonna come up and obviously talk to you in another live session video, because I've been missing you on these live sessions, right? It has been long since we last did it live, because we last did the live after the game of Man City, and I was a little bit dozy. Remember, I did only, is it 17 minutes? Yet minimally I'm always live for like 30 minutes, you know, but I never even went ahead to make 20, you know, because I was really feeling dozy. I think we are last live on a Sunday, and today is a Wednesday morning. God has gone ahead to bless us with what we call coming in here and really put in the live sessions that are really very much considered in here. But continue to subscribe, because we want to hit 21,000 subscribers, and I know with you guys a lot is gonna really be happening. Let's continue to subscribe, and the more we continue to subscribe, the more we'll get ourselves going. And remember, Kyle Walker is really out, and that acts as good news for the opponents that are going to play Man City. But John Stones is expected to return. I'm going to hit to see Pep Guardiola giving us a hint on who he expects to return and who he expects not to obviously return. But he says John Stones might make it in the game they're going to be playing Aston Villa. They really need him a lot, because they'll be, by the time they start playing, that is Man City, Arsenal would have already gone ahead to play for how many? Arsenal would have gone ahead to play for some good minutes, by the way, because Man City is like playing an hour. Their game of football is starting an hour after that of Arsenal is going to hit to start, because Man City plays at 22:15 hours and Arsenal 21:30 hours. After the halftime of Arsenal, then Man City will be really tussling it out with Aston Villa at the Etihad. And now what Arsenal has to do is simple. Arsenal has to find themselves in a position of really having a comfortable lead at the beginning of the game, such that by the time Man City goes ahead to really kickstart off the game against Everton, off against Aston Villa, the pressure is really high because Arsenal will be having a comfortable lead and they'll be seated top of the table, and they'll be like, we have to win this game of football, because if we don't win it, Arsenal is going to go 4 points, all 3, name it, ahead of us. So that is it coming in through from the side of the Premier League, and you guys have gone ahead to really give us the best of the Prem, and it's really huge that nothing is really stopping in here for you. So Ange Postecoglou asked on whether his team is really going to be one of those to compete for the trophy next season. He said, I'm not going to let this club rest on where we finish this year. I'm here to win. I want to win. Where we finish this season should be a foundation for us being better next year. Obviously, he has shown us that he has the edge. He has the best scouting team to get him players. Even when he's not playing the Champions League, he managed to get in players. And the node he should pray for not to miss out in the Champions League. If he doesn't miss out on the Champions League, it will be easy for him to convince at least players of more quality to join the side of Tottenham Hotspur, because very many teams really want to play in the Champions League. And if, by the way, adds in 2, 3, 4 players in his team, he can compete for the trophy next season. What did him bad and took him off from the trophy competition? Because he topped that table for like, is it 10 weeks? That is it. He reached the 10th game when he hasn't gone ahead, obviously, down tools as Tottenham Hotspur. And I was like, let me wait and see how it's going to really pan out. But he's now having 57 points, and the table leaders are really having 67. Those are 20 points in between him and Liverpool. And Liverpool have a chance to extend it to 23. But we all know that it really went from bad to worse when he saw to it that Van der Ven got an injury. Then Christian Romero, who was really red carded, he was out for like 3 games. Then Udogie also went ahead to get an injury. James Maddison went ahead to get an injury, and that's what affected his plan. But I think this season he has gone ahead to build his first team, and next season he needs to obviously work onto the bench, and that is the importance of the summer transfer window for Spurs. And they've gone ahead to be looking at players like Goncalo Inacio, Ivan Toney, Gyökeres. They are looking at players like Rafinha, you understand? So they're really up and running, and trust me, if they really get ready and prepare themselves very well, they'll cause a situation and they'll paint it right, and everyone will be like, those are the guys that have gone ahead, obviously, lift Spurs to getting where it's supposed to be. But Spurs is a very good team, and you anticipate that there are teams that can obviously give Arsenal a trophy or really get them off the trophy, because they have to play Arsenal, and after playing against Arsenal, they have to play against Man City very, very soon, though that game of football is going to have to be postponed. But I tell you, without no doubt, Spurs are really building a very enticing project in there. It's very enticing. I really like it, and the way they've gone ahead to put themselves into the competition to really take themselves up and running, then that's really great. David Chijoke, good job, bro, keep it up. All right, thank you also for watching in through, and I'm here to obviously talk about the side of Tottenham Hotspur Newcastle. And for Newcastle, man, they're really having problems, and Eddie Howe is really one of those that needs to obviously be given a chance, because he's been having injuries. His midfield, he signed Sandro Tonali, was banned for 10 months, yet they bought him expensively, 70 million euros. You know, a player that came in and fit in like a glove at the side of Newcastle, and then he felt like he couldn't really have him. That is really bad. How can you really not have your best midfielder? Because I believe what Sandro Tonali gives you, it's more than what even Bruno Guimaraes gives you, because Sandro Tonali can play as a number 6, he can play as a box-to-box player, and he can really do what we call creative chances, and he's really a threat. He has a goal threat, and he would have gone ahead to score very many goals, more than Bruno Guimaraes. So Sandro Tonali, Sandro Tonali is yet to be banned again by the Premier League. That is really the bad thing. They've gone ahead, obviously, find out that he was really betting in the Premier League. He had gone ahead to play just 8 games and 1 goal before he really went ahead to really get that ban for having gone ahead to obviously found himself involved in betting scandals when he was still at AC Milan down in Italy. So that is really one of the things that you'll ever want to happen at you. And I tell you, the manager is not okay and is not in his right time. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Good morning, the Muslims. Ramadan Kareem, the Christians. We cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus